Just like comic book superheroes, the world of gaming doesn't often receive serious scholarly attention. But in the world of the fantastic, gaming is an important part of our experience and our interpretation of these fantastic places that have been created, especially when you have games that relate to movies and literature. And so this is just another facet of a larger community. So let's look at Lord of the Rings game because we've looked at the film. This game was created after Jackson's film was produced. So Jackson's film, as well as the written narrative by Tolkien, are both informing the narrative behind this game and acting as a springboard for it. Right here we have a rather long YouTube video where we have a gamer who's explaining how do you start this, how do you create this character. I want you to watch the first 5 minutes. In those 5 minutes, you're going to see how to set up a character, how narrative is related to this character, and where you go from there. And you're going to use that in your thinking as you think about creating your own character, where you can either sign into the game and create a character, or using this, decide what choices you would make to make the character that your avatar for playing this game and why you would do that. Then I want you to actually go to the Lord of the Rings online website. On this website, you're going to see all the different ways you could interact with a community. That interaction and the way that differs from any other experience that we've had so far in the fantastic is what I really want you to focus on, even as you're just letting yourself experience it. So what is it to look at a forum and leave a comment, engage with other members of the community in a way that, say, you wouldn't engage with Jackson, the director of a film, or Tolkien, the long dead author of a text? What is this live, sometimes real-time interaction? Look at Explore Middle-earth. How does this give you agency that you wouldn't have in a different media? So, for example, here, where you're thinking about characters, and it's giving you these different classifications that you could use. These classifications have examples, famous figures for The Hobbit, Bilbo, Frodo, Samwise, but it's a general description because you will be creating a character. You are using the categories that have been created by the game and previously by Tolkien himself, but you are the one who is within that category, within the boundaries set here, making something that's specific to you. What does that feel like? What does that character mean to you? How does that relate to, so if you chose to, say, be a hobbit, definitely identify there, then how does the character I create for myself relate to, say, viewing Samwise as a hobbit and a sidekick and this sort of epitome of what it means to come from the Shire? What is this relationship here that I am not only relating to the text, but I'm adding my own creative input in that relationship? That agency is going to be one of the primary things I want you to be thinking about, because that agency is one of the main things that separates the genre of online gaming from the other genres we've looked at. And then, based on this website, what are some other things? What are different elements of the genre? So technically, you could think back to other online games you might know. What are elements there that define this as an online gaming space as opposed to just a fan website? So online gaming, first of all, you're engaging in a game, right? There is a game set out, there is a space created, and there's actions that you can take. And these actions result in points, because the point of a game is to win, right? It's not like the point of reading a novel. You don't read a novel to win a novel. You read a novel to enjoy the story and ultimately to complete the story. But for gaming, the journey is actually part of why you do it, right? Think about that difference. Write about that. Answer in about 3 to 5 sentences. Then you're going to create a character. Remember, you can either do this by watching this video and imagine how you would do it, or actually do it. I suggest, if you are at all thinking about using something like online gaming in your final presentation, where you're saying how a community that relates to your text has expanded into the gaming world, definitely engage with this so that you can experience it and bring that experience to your project. And then I want you to compare and contrast. Here we have a trailer for the Two Towers that essentially gives the story of Rohan within it, because that's where that was primarily focused. And then here we have a YouTube video created by the Lord of the Rings online game that tells the story of Rohan. Same story, but told in very different ways. Here, we're looking at a trailer. What's the purpose of a trailer? To draw you in, to make you want to see the video, video, harkening back to my 1980s upbringing. Here, the audience is addressed as you. They are directly addressed by the speaker, and they are then invited to engage. Here, you just have someone telling the story without completely giving it away. Here, you're saying what happens and then saying, come and join us as a hero. So how do they send those different messages? How do they try to inspire you in different ways? What is the experience for you? And what does that mean about the genre of gaming? And finally, after you've gone through all of this, I want you to leave comments for 2 people, because the experience of gaming is communal, right? And so seeing what someone else has experienced and thinking about, okay, these different experiences in this gaming community, or what define it, might help us take one more step into thinking how the Fantastic is working. One of the interesting things about this game, I thought, particularly for this class, is that it expands into beyond the Lord of the Rings narrative. So, for example, it draws on the Children of Hurin, which is, you can see this link on Fandom, where they summarize the recently released text. It was something that Tolkien wrote very, very early, but never published. It's only recently been published by his son, Christopher. And this becomes an add-on to this game. And remember, Tolkien said Lord of the Rings is just a history of the Elvish language so that you can understand it. It's just kind of the tip of the iceberg of Middle Earth for him, because for him, Middle Earth is this expansive place with this long, long history, and he knows all of this history and all of these languages and all of these peoples. And in Lord of the Rings, he's just giving us a taste of it. How is this game, by bringing in these other parts of the world that Tolkien created, perhaps giving us more of Tolkien's experience? And yet giving it to us in such a way that it becomes our experience. Think about that, and I look forward to seeing what you write.